Hello again. My name is Joel Johnson. Welcome to Story. It's story time. And I love telling stories because I think stories are powerful and they teach amazing lessons. This one is about Chippie the Bird. Now, Chippie was an amazing bird. Chippie was beautiful. And I know it's another bird story, but Chippie was a beautiful bird. It was just so colorful and so amazing. And it sung such beautiful songs as it sat in the cage of its owner. And people would visit. Friends and relatives would come by this lady's house and the owner of the bird. And they would look at the bird and they were just like, oh, this bird's amazing. It sang such beautiful songs and it's just so colorful and it's always happy. And Chippie was a happy bird. And every day the owner, the lady would open up the bird cage and let Chippie just fly around the house a little bit. Why, she would take her vacuum cleaner and put the attachment on and all that good stuff and vacuum out the bird cage a little bit. And so they had a nice, wonderful relationship. Well, one day, the unthinkable happened. She opened up the bird cage. Chippie was just as happy as can be. And Chippie goes out of the bird cage and starts flying around just as happy as you can be. She turns on the vacuum cleaner and she starts cleaning out the bird cage. And all of a sudden, the phone rings. Well, she's a little distracted. So she gets the phone and she's talking on the phone and she's, waving around that vacuum cleaner a little bit. And all of a sudden, shoo! Chippie gets sucked up in the vacuum cleaner. Now, it's one of those cool vacuum cleaners with the wind tunnel, the wind tunnel canister on them. So Chippie goes through that hose in the vacuum cleaner. It ends up in the wind tunnel. And shoo, 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 shoo. It just starts going into like a little windstorm type situation. The owner's all up. She hangs the phone up. She turns off the vacuum cleaner and she lets Chippie out. Now, the good news is Chippie survived this whole ordeal. Chippie came out quite okay. Now, Chippie lost a lot of feathers. Chippie was kind of dirty and dusty and disgusting. Chippie was pretty upset. Well, that woman, the owner, was just crying and just apologizing left and right to Chippie. Well, Chippie had none of it. Chippie didn't care about her apology. Well, she got the bird all cleaned up and put Chippie back in the cage and locked the cage up. But something different happened. Chippie wasn't singing anymore. And Chippie wasn't beautiful anymore. Chippie wasn't happy anymore. And when the woman would open up the cage to vacuum the cage out, Chippie wouldn't fly out of the cage anymore. And when this woman's friends and relatives came over to visit, and they not only visited her, they also visited Chippie because they loved Chippie so much. But Chippie would no longer sing. And Chippie was no longer happy. And Chippie was no longer beautiful. And they would ask the owner what happened to Chippie, what took place. And the owner was so embarrassed. She said, "Oh, I don't know. Chippie just changed. Something happened. I don't know what it was." Sometimes in life, we feel like the life has been sucked out of us. We feel like Chippie did, that we're in a storm, a wind tunnel, a blazing windy storm. And somehow we lose our beauty. And we lose our song. And instead of flying around in all of our glory, we prefer to stay where it's safe, in our own little prison, in our own little cage. So what's the moral of the story? Why did I tell you the story? Pretty simple, as all stories are. They're just simple stories that teach amazing lessons. Just like the woman's neighbors and friends and relatives didn't know what happened to Chippie, we don't know what happened to other people. We can say, oh, she was so beautiful and she used to sing and was so happy, but we don't know what took place in her life. We don't know what happened. We don't know what made her lose her song. We don't know what made her no longer dress pretty or take care of herself. We don't know why she's so mean and angry. Because just like Chippie, we don't know what happened. We don't always know what happens behind closed doors. So it's best to always be kind and gentle and nice to people. Because we don't know what kind of storm they're going through. And in truth, they don't know what kind of storm we went through or are going through. Hope you enjoyed the story. Have a nice day.